Natural product. Poison is a harmful molecule to human health. So these poisons, how could you define how harmful are these? Blowfish is famous to generate toxic material to human beings. So if you are not careful, and you can be died by eating this blowfish. Blowfish's toxic material is a highly tangled and the multi-membrane structure like this, and the name of this toxin is a tetrodotoxin. LD50 of tetrodotoxin is a 435 microgram per kilogram. This is called as a median lethal dose, LD50. If you convert this into human the weight, so let's assume human weight is 60 kilogram, and then 26 milligram is LD50 for human. If you draw the lethal dose of a substance, x-axis can be plotted as an increasing concentration. Y-axis is a death count. So lower amount, then the death count is 0, but the concentration is going higher and higher. Now it's increased the death rate, and they can reach eventually 100%. If you plot the 50% death, then it can be plotted as the concentration of LD50. So here the LD50 means 50% of the people or the animal can die by eating this amount. Here is a table of the highly toxic materials LD50. Usually the unit is given by milligram per kilogram, but for convenience, we can change that into 60 kilograms response for human response. So the number, the lower, more toxic, and then historically, the most toxic material is the botulinum toxin. In other terms, this is known as a Botox. So this is a super strong neurotoxin, and very diluted version of this could be used for paralyzing the motor neurons motion, and then make the face looking like younger. Here are some compounds or the materials which is usually considered as safe, but water may be the very safe material, even it has the LD50 value. Now the unit is changed 1,000 times bigger, not milligram per kilogram. This is gram per kilogram. So LD50 for water is for human, for adult human, with a 60 kilogram of weight body. About 5 liter is the LD50. That means if you drink 5 liters of water, you have 50% chance to die. That's interesting, isn't it? Considering to that, ethanol is almost 10% of it. That means half a liter of ethanol if you drink, then you can die by 50% chance. In this comparison, it's surprising to see caffeine is much the more toxic than ethanol. Nicotine is super toxic. So with this low amount of nicotine LD50, how could you survive by smoking? Well, if you dissolve the tobacco and extract the nicotine and drink, almost for sure you can die. But smoking process that limit the amount of uptake into the body. That's why we don't see often by smoking the people die. But nicotine is a highly toxic material. Here is a very famous the toxic material fentanyl. Fentanyl is a highly toxic. The LD50 is very small. That means that this is very toxic material. For human, approximately 2 milligram is lethal dose. Fentanyl has been used as a patch for pain killing effect. So when fentanyl is used as a patch, the release speed is 12 microgram per hour. So this should be considered as relatively safe the process. But total amount of fentanyl in this patch is about 2 milligram, and LD50 of fentanyl is also near to the 2 milligram. So that means if that has been used in a bad way, misuse case, either orally or inhalation at a time. Now 22.1 milligram at once, it can be highly dangerous. It can kill the people. Especially a fentanyl case, the lethal dose is quite a high slope. That means even though the 2 milligram is approximately the LD50, but very small change of the amount, just a little above, it can kill maybe 90%, or it has the opposite way, very small amount can go down very quickly, but this implies that it's very difficult to control the safe amount of uptake. Fentanyl could be considered as the derivative of a natural product. So the first natural product, the similar to fentanyl, is morphine, which has a strong painkiller effect. Later, this morphine is chemically modified by adding two acetyl groups, so it became 100 times stronger the heroin molecule. And from heroin molecules, those side effect was removed, and the only pain-killing effect is extracted to make a fentanyl compound. So fentanyl is a synthetic compound, but the fentanyl structure is originated from natural product, we can think. As we see here, a lot of natural products, they have a very unique biological function, and in many cases, they have a strong toxicity. Natural product is considered of kinds of a metabolite, and metabolite is the intermediate or end product of a metabolism. Metabolite can be classified as a primary and secondary. Primary metabolites are the most important basic biological molecules, amino acids, which is the component of a protein, and fatty acid and carbohydrates, and nucleotides. So these molecules are essential to maintain our biological functions. So these are primary metabolites. Without any of these components, we cannot live. We can die right away. In contrast, secondary metabolite, many of them are drug molecules or killer for enemies. These kind of molecules, even though we do not have them, we don't die right away. But these materials can help our survival or the competition with the enemies. For that reason, many of those natural products are highly toxic. Also, their structure in many cases quite complicated. So that implies that making this natural product is not easy and it can be very expensive way. These kinds of specified the weapons natural product toxin materials are generated usually by bacteria. Bacteria, for efficient synthesis, they have a cluster of genes, gene A, B, C, D, E, and these genes working together to make those complicated molecules. So this group of genes which has the same direction of a function, we call them operon. Sometimes to modify the structure of a natural product, we may need to insert new genes. In the case, it's an integrase. Sometimes we take out some part of those genes, like the exogenase kind of enzyme functions, make bacterial gene shuffling to make a diverse natural product.